that song was pivotal. Actually, Kabhi Kabhi Aadati and Ishq Ada came out together. It was very strange, and both those tracks became very popular. I remember looking in the charts, and they were both in the top 10, and everybody gave me such great reaction. But it was a Kabhi Kabhi Aadati and track that I remember because I was told that virtually everybody had it on their ringtone at one time during 2008 when it came out. And it opened a lot of doors for me. The album came out, the album was produced by A.R. Rahman, and consequently it made everything else much simpler for me. I realized I was doing some kind of 2 jobs at one time, and I sort of thought to myself, maybe if I devoted more time. This is before I even got, anywhere near the Indian film scene. This is back in the UK, because that's basically where I was brought up. And I used to do a lot of gigs there. And it's basically, I realized that if I devoted more time to music, rather than working 2 jobs, if I put that energy into music, then it'll happen much easier. And I'm not kidding, within a year, less than a year, as soon as I gave up my other job, it started happening. I started getting gigs a lot better, and gigs, and then the chance meeting with the AR happened at a charity event in London where I was performing. And it all happened from there, really. Yeah, and we met in 2001, quite a while back. And like I said, I met him in London, and he and I got chatting, and then he discovered that my mother was a ghazal singer, and she had worked with a very famous ustad called Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Khan Sahab, very well known in India, very well respected. And he thought, oh, that's strange, because he also knew Khan Sahab. Actually, he was actually learning to sing from Khan Sahab at one time. So that was a common ground, and he then found out that I was a musician and I was a jazz guitarist as well. And those 2 things were very kind of, he became inquisitive, that he wanted to know more about me. And within a few months he called me to Chennai, and I did my first movie song. It was a Tamil movie actually, called Paratali Paravasam. And that song was quite popular at that time, and it came out in 2002, called Nadadirna. Actually was my first recording. And then the same trip I did Ishq Ada, which took 7 years to come out later, but that's actually 2001 when I did both those tracks. And then he called me for some tours on 2003, and then I toured with him again in 2005. That's where the Kabhi Kabhi Aadati track got recorded in 2005. And then later on it had its own journey. Within 3 years it was released. Actually, I've known him for a long time, like I said, and we basically started our journey getting to know each other, not just as part of the work scene, but also when he used to come to London. I got to know him on a personal level, because you imagine somebody coming from India and suddenly coming to London, and not everybody knows him there. So because he was coming to London a lot, we became sort of friends, because he didn't have that many people over there that knew him, So in the non-Asian sector, I'm talking about. So we became, friends, and we still are friends, and we still know each other really well, and we still keep in touch. But the main thing is he took it upon himself, which I thought was really amazing. He took it upon himself to recognize my talent, but not just that, but to produce an album of mine called Call Me Rashid that came out in last year, in fact. And for somebody to do that, it takes conviction, it takes a lot of belief in somebody's talent to do that. Knowing he's so busy, but he still found it time to, produce my album. So for me, I know that he, has a lot of respect for me, as I have a lot of respect for him. So it's very much a musician friendship kind of thing. And as I say, we've been friends for like 12 years. So I may look at things very differently because of that, knowing somebody. When you know somebody, you look at things differently that way.